It's springtime. The flowers are blooming and the honeybees are hard at work. Honeybees are really fascinating insects. They are important pollinators. They make delicious honey and useful beeswax. And did you know they have their own mini society inside their hive? That's pretty cool if you ask me. So let's take a closer look at these busy bees, starting in the place where everything happens, the hive. In the hive, there are 3 types of bees, each with a very specific job: the queen bee, drone bees, and worker bees. Let's start with the one and only queen bee. Though it can be hard to see her, she has a larger thorax, which is the middle section of her body, and a longer abdomen, which is the lower part of her body. Sometimes beekeepers will mark their queens so they are easier to find. This queen isn't marked, but can you see her? I'll give you a hint. She doesn't have any stripes. There she is. The queen bee is in charge of laying as many eggs as she possibly can. On average, a queen bee will lay 1,000 eggs every day. That's a lot of bee babies. The babies will start as a teeny tiny speck, which are the eggs, and then grow into larvae, pupas, and finally crawl out as adults. Look, this baby bee is trying to come out right now. Drone bees are male, and they are meant to mate with the queen and help her to produce offspring. They are also harmless, as they don't have a stinger. You can identify a drone because they are much larger and have big eyes. Do you see the drones here? They're so big. The most common type of honeybee is the worker bee. They are female, and just like their name suggests, they do all of the work. They are the ones you see flying from flower to flower, collecting nectar and pollen. They build, clean, and protect the hive, and take care of the queen and her bee babies. Do you see the larvae in the cells of the comb? And on top of all of that, they make all of that super sweet honey, which we'll talk about soon. So, when you see a honeybee, it's more than likely a worker bee. And did you know that honeybees have a very unique way of communicating? They actually tell each other where the flowers full of nectar are, and they do so by dancing. The circle dance this bee is doing tells the other bees there are flowers close to the hive. But this funny waggle dance where the bee kind of shimmies tells the other bees the flowers are far from the hive. Look, this bee is doing the waggle dance. And did you know the bees will actually give the others directions to the far flowers? They do this by either waggling straight, to the right, or to the left, which tells the bees to either fly toward the sun, to the right of the sun, or to the left of the sun. Isn't that amazing? I think it's so fun that bees communicate by dancing. Now, let's talk about the thing that gives honeybees their name: delicious and golden honey. But how do they make the honey? Well, worker bees go out of the hive in search of sweet flower nectar. As they go from flower to flower, they store the nectar in their honey stomachs. Once their stomach is full, they return to the hive and spit the nectar into wax cells. Flapping their wings and stirring the nectar with their tongues to thicken the nectar and turn it into honey. Once the cell is full of honey, they seal it with a layer of wax to protect it. Honeybees make and store honey to eat and live off of in the winter. But they are so good at making it that they make way more than they need. And we gladly take the excess honey off their hands. But did you know that in order to make 1 pound of honey, a colony of bees must fly over 55,000 miles, which is more than 2 times around the Earth. And they must visit over 2 million flowers. That's too hard for me to even comprehend. But it definitely makes me appreciate each drop even more. Oh no! We definitely can't waste any of this valuable honey. And you know those wax caps on the honeycomb? Those are often melted and filtered to create the beeswax we use for many different things. Beeswax can be used for candles, food wraps, modeling clay, soap, and so many other amazing things. After learning so much about bees, I have so much more appreciation for them. They aren't mean insects who fly around trying to sting people. Instead, they are as sweet as the honey they produce. And as long as we mind our own business, they will do the same.